The loaded up Rebel is almost $100,000. We'll find out if it's worth it. I'll include a link to the Ram and Hebers website in the description down below. They're providing us with this truck. I'll also include a link to my carbine guide. Let's get into it. This week's giveaway highlight is a supercharged Silverado High Country and a Corvette Z06. If you're interested, use code BHC or click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment to get 4x bonus entries on any donation $25 or more. Under the hood is the 6.7 liter high output Cummins, goes through an 8-speed, puts out 430 horsepower, 1,075 pound-feet of torque. You can get this with the V8 Hemi too. We're closing in on 500,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help me out with that. At the very top, we've got cab lights. We also have hood vents. They're not really functional on the Rebel, but they're just for aesthetics. The loaded up Rebel also comes with the upgraded lights. They actually have a cool kind of effect. I don't know if you guys can see the lines there in the whole cluster. It also has fog lights, parking sensors. We've got tow hooks on the front end. And then you notice we've got the kind of Power Wagon style grille. And there's a lot of similarities to this in the Power Wagon in terms of styling. The tire wheel setup is 285 by 60 by 20. You've got silver on the outside of the wheel, and then it's kind of blacked out on the center. Now this truck is coil sprung front and rear, and then you've got Bilstein shocks, solid axles front and rear too. Pretty chunky fender flares. We've got the Cummins turbo diesel badge, Ram logo, and then this is actually two-tone. It's kind of hard to tell because of the metallic gray paint. If I take a few steps back, maybe you guys can see the two-tone a little bit better, but still kind of hard to see. When it comes to key fob features, this has lock and unlock, tailgate drop down, remote start, Ram logo. LED lights, we've got an outlet in the bed. You also have all the plugins and everything for the fifth wheel setup. And then we've got bed liner from the factory. This also has the 6'4" bed. The tailgate itself is very light. Ram logo there. You've got a little Rebel badge off to the side. And then you can see you've got an upgraded rear bumper. And then towing capacity with this is going to be in the high teens. That will cap things off for the exterior. Let's now check out the interior. You're going to have trim similar to what you see in the Limited with this. So look at that. It goes across. You can see all the fancy stitching. It also has power running boards. More really nice trim on these seats. They are perforated all down the center. Got nice piping on the sides of the seats. And then there is some under-seat storage. With this, it's clipped in. But these do fold out to be trays. And this probably, yeah, it does have the ice buckets. Legroom back here is good. Storage pocket. We also have nice trim around the cup holders. Heated seats in the rear. We've got some USB ports, full outlet, and there's actually some cup holders in the center. And you probably noticed the seat's up. This is to show you guys it's got a 60/40 split. Keyless entry for up front. This of course has a super fancy mirrors that have the power fold in function. They also have the function that allows you to extend them out via power. That was really slow to react back. Acoustic glass here with the windows. Memory seats, here's all those controls for the mirrors. And then you've got your window controls. Front two are automatic. More of the fancy trim on the front door panel. And then the gross vehicle weight rating on this is 11,040 pounds. And that means that this actually has a payload capacity of 2,752 pounds. Rebel there on the seat, perforated all down the center portion. Power adjustments on the side with lumbar support too. To the left of the steering wheel, you've got your controls for the lights. It also has fog lights and a cargo light. And let's start it up. The steering wheel itself has soft touch all around. It's kind of perforated on either side a little bit. They're very little perforations. Radio controls in the back. Column shifter there with some fancy stitching on it. You've got practical controls on the front like your adaptive cruise control. You can do regular cruise if you want. Gear limiter, and then you have controls for the center stack. And taking a look at that center stack, it is fully digital with this loaded up Rebel. Kind of the status quo in the car industry right now if you do a loaded up vehicle. But yeah, all the tabs are pretty quick to come into play. I like how you can switch from digital to analog with the tachometer too. I think that's kind of fun. 360 camera system with this. Oh, that's cool. You got the tire marks for off-roading. Let's start with some physical controls. You've got your trailer backup assistant, trailer brake controls outside the screen, and then also climate, and then radio controls around the screen. You note the rest of the trailer brake controls also for the alternate trailer height because this has the rear air suspension, diesel exhaust brake, parking sensors all built in the screen. Even your heated ventilated seats are built in the screen. And the response time, Ram needs to fix this. Sorry, the camera's really struggling to focus on it. But yeah, it does take a second for the pages to load up. And you have the passenger screen that gives you limited functions with the radio and everything off the side, but you do lose the top glove box We've got a part-time four-wheel drive system with this. It does have a 2-speed transfer case, a rear locking differential, and Ram's kind of off-road cruise control. Bunch of USB ports. There's actually 2 phone charging pads. There's an outlet at the very bottom, but this does slide, which is kind of a nice feature. Got some soft touch and stitching on the side, more nice soft touch on top, and big storage inside too. And the sliding function means it is easy to access the storage. Camera rear view mirror, which also pops on easily. Power setting rear window too. And then those controls are just for the sunroof. Ram still just does a standard sunroof. Okay, 2026 Rebel 2500. It's the base MSRP. But yeah, this one's loaded up, so $98,575. Let's see how this Rebel performs. Let's set off in the Rebel HD. Waiting for this Hyundai to move. With the diesel. This thing's loaded up. It's crazy, the price tag. But at least it has usable payload now, right? It's been interesting to see the comments on Ram's updated gross vehicle weight rating with their HDs, because some people, like myself, really appreciate it. And a lot of people are really critical of it because, you know, in a lot of states, once you go over 10,000 pounds, it puts the truck in another class, and I understand that. I get the problem with that for some people, but you know, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I mean, Ford and Chevy, they're usually over 10,000 with their 2500s anyways. It's like whatever. And it really was making Ram look bad. Turn signal camera. This has so many gadgets and gizmos that are unnecessary. I mean, they're nice, but they're completely unnecessary. Really need to simplify vehicles. Like that, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Strong torque. Man, it's so smooth. The suspension, this is interesting. I just drove a Warlock before this, and they're supposed to have the same everything, same suspension and all that. This almost feels bumpier. Why is that? Now, something to note, the Warlock, because it had a more basic interior, had literally 300 pounds more payload because it weighed 300 pounds less. I wonder if that, but 300 pounds shouldn't make or break ride quality with a vehicle. I mean, I shouldn't say it. Like a little sports car, like a Mazda Miata or something like that, then yeah, I could see that. But like you know, big truck like this, yeah, 300 pounds it's a rounding error almost. It's weird that it feels bumpier. I wonder what that is. Could be the tire pressure. I didn't check the tire pressure on the Warlock. That is going to affect things quite substantially. If you haven't had a chance, like, my hope with these videos is that I narrow you down to like a few vehicles so then you can go and test drive those. If you haven't had a chance to drive one of these new Cummins and you're kind of interested, like, go and drive one. Just go and drive one. I think many of you would be pleasantly surprised with how this drives. This new 8-speed, the high output, it's very, very nice with the acceleration. And I will say that's one downside about this whole YouTube review stuff is I talk to people, and I'll probably make a dedicated video to this, but I feel like people aren't test driving enough cars nowadays. You know, they're like, oh, well, you know, car reviewer said this thing is good, so I'm gonna go buy it. And it's like, man, I hope that, like, again, I hope to direct you guys, but I also don't want you to be like, make the final decision off of video, if that makes sense. Like, my hope is that I kind of, again, like, pinpoint you to probably 2 or 3 different vehicles, and then you go and drive them for yourself, and then after you've driven them for yourself, then you go, okay, this one I like the most. So HD Rebel, I mean, it's a cool truck. It's, you know, I'm sorry, I try to get excited about this stuff, but it's really hard when I look at this. It's like, who's buying, who can afford And who's buying a $100,000 off-road? Like, nobody can take this off-road, right? I think I made a joke in a video title the other day that, like, I reviewed a King Ranch Tremor that only a rich YouTuber could take it. It's like true. It's like, unless you can somehow make money off of social media, it's like you're not going to take $100,000 diesel off-road. So I just don't know who the target market is for this. It's a cool truck, but I don't know a lot of people that can afford this. And then out of the people that can afford this, who wants to buy a $100,000 off-road diesel? I don't know. It's a nice truck, but you know, they probably should simplify things. I think the trucks have gotten way too vehicles in general, but yeah, the trucks have gotten way too overcomplicated. Let me know what you guys think about this. I mean, it's nice with the acoustic glass and the leather interior, the leather on the dash, and it's fancy and nice, but it's also gonna cost you